This week we're talking about what you need from work. Who needs something from their job? Who goes in for a reason? And you need something in return. It's not the best question to ask all day long, what about me, what about me, what about me? But it is an important question. So in everything, do to others what you would have them do to you. For this sums up the law and the prophets. Do the best work you can. That's what you want somebody to do for you. If one of those biscuits wasn't exactly right, you're like, well, can we get our money back for this? It's only half a biscuit. You want it done well, and so we do excellent work. And we're really good at thinking about what we want. And so and it doesn't mean if I like chicken biscuits and you really are a non-biscuit person, really don't want it doesn't mean I'm going to make everybody eat vegetarian. It doesn't mean that. Although you might propose why that'd be better for people, right? It doesn't mean you like Michael likes no bread, others like no meat, and so we go. But it doesn't mean I put that on them per se. But it means I think about the way I want something unique, and I ask them how they get that unique. How do we do that? I get it. I like it the way I like it. How can I help them get things the way they like it? How do I meet their needs that way? And that sums up all the laws. It's that simple. This is the same as life purpose. I'm going to help people get what they need. How does this also help you with your needs? When you think about this, how does this also help you think about your needs? Especially in that this is focused on your needs. This next 40 minutes is focused on your needs. How does this help you with your needs? Yeah, the stuff I want's meaningful. And I want to help them get that, so I want to check that out. Good. A lot in our needs, we see what you're trying. We'll get to this in the core need behind the need. Who's sometimes just trying to get ahead of somebody else? If you're honest. Just want to get it. If I can get better than that person. Tim Keller proved in every good endeavor that everybody's going into finance and high tech just really to get to the 10-year reunion and go, look at me. And it's kind of true. What people think of me sometimes drives my career choices. And then, but he did say lately more people go into Greenpeace type things to save the world. And so I got 3 things that are esteemable positions, but it's not. And in the Book of Idols, I don't really value having more of something. I value having more than Mike. That's how I measure it. Because we got enough. But how does this verse help that? And if I want something more for myself that's good, I really believe in public schools. I want to join more people in there. I really believe in private schools. Well, I got to help more people get in there. I got to help others get to the same spot. If I think this is really valuable, if I found a lifestyle that's really good for me, I'm not going out and doing it by myself. I'm not trying to get away. I'm saying, I'm not trying to get myself above other people, because that doesn't exist in this verse. I'm not trying to win. Yeah, James and John were like, man, we see you're the real deal after the transfiguration. We got a proposal. Can we say you're right and left? No. You've hated that you're lorded over. Why are you trying to become that way? That's not for me to grant. The Father does that. See, back to the Father. The theme, okay? The aim of business is to make provision for the needs of people in an area. The best business in the world serves a need that society as a whole, a specific region, or local community has. Your work is to meet the needs of others. That's the gratification. Oh, I'm not doing exactly what I want to do? Meet somebody's need today. The place doesn't have enough smiles around here? Smile at some people. Recognize them in the image of God. Okay. Work is a 3-way exchange of value that glorifies our Creator. It's a total exchange. That's what it is. Set up. Who created work? Who created business? We tend to think it's kind of goofy. It's not. It's a way to meet provisions. It's a way to exchange value. God loves it when we exchange value. Somehow the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit exchange value perfectly. Perfectly. It's a mystery, all of it, some of it. Even some of you have been in seminary and been a pastor for 30 years, can't explain it perfectly. But it is perfect, and everything we can see about it is perfect. and they exchange value. He loves that we're made in His likeness and image and made to be relational and exchange value. We think it looks like this. When I can bring my gifts to the needs of others is where I'm supposed to be, and then that enables my life. I need something back. I can't just keep going in. I can't just do books for free. And that's, we're going to cover that part more than anything else today. But I need to be valuable. I need to know that my gifts matter. And we've covered this before. The world's version of this is my gifts, my passions, cash. My cash. My gifts, my passions, my cash. What's the center of that? Good. Me. I made that mistake yesterday and the day before. The day before. We fall on that. We think about that. But my gifts, who's aware of their gifts now that we've covered this for a couple of weeks? The article's out there, and there's a way to assess your gifts, and there's a way to see where you're affirmed in your gifts and where God's affirming you and where others are affirming you. There are ways to do that. If you need help and weren't part of that, I can point you to it. And the needs of others. Who's good at understanding the needs of others? Who says they have a lack of that? Anybody have a lack of understanding other people's needs? But you see them, and you've been working on it. I know you well enough to know. So I see that. And then that comes back and enables you. What's your greatest gift? Here's how we prove this is right. Because people do come in my office, I do a lot of one-on-one stuff, and they say, I'm positive I'm supposed to do this underwater basket weaving. I'm positive. I can hold my breath a long time. I know how to weave. I can do all this together. That was a joke, by the way, for athletes when I was in the 80s in college. But remember that? But that's what I want to do. I know I am. I'm good at water. My hair is fine with that. All these things are good about underwater basket weaving. Okay, that's probably true. Maybe you are. Where's it blessing people? Oh, it has blessed you. Okay, good. So you can prove that. But if that's true, to quit. And they'll say basically to me, they don't say it this way. They say, quit over-spiritualizing this. It can't be about Jesus. I know that God will be pleased with me if I use this gift of underwater basket weaving for the needs of others. And I can prove it blesses people. Okay. If that's true, it's somewhere in here, and we've done Working Genius. Most of you have done it. If you hadn't done it, please let me know. I think it's a good way to name and claim certain part of your gifts. It's not all of who you are, but it's a good way. But if those things are your gifts, what's your greatest gift? Jesus. We say it loud. It's the name above every name. Our greatest gift is Jesus. What's the biggest need of the world? Jesus. What's my biggest life enabler? Jesus. So the center of this becomes Jesus, and so I know, so that's a linear way to look at it. Excellent work, blesses other, leads to people, but some of us need to see it overlapped. Who's known they're doing a great job at something and it served somebody? It feels good, feels really good, and you got paid for it, and it was good for you. When that overlaps, I've had jobs that I think almost completely overlap. I'm really blessed to have that job now. Thank you all for supporting it. So let's go deeper. How do you know if your job is good for you? What's something that you know is good for you? You're out there making those videos showing how to make those a fence. It's pretty fun. It's multi-directional joy going on when you're doing that, right? Yeah. What's another thing that you know it's good for you? I create housing in a way that people can get in it who maybe traditionally couldn't. That's good for people. Does that make you feel good by the time somebody gets in there? Yeah. I was made to do that. I did all this stuff. And the Joneses are happy now. They were in trouble before. A single mom with those 4 kids, it was rough, right? It's good. Who else? Who knows that their job is good for them? And it doesn't mean always I got to do exactly what I want to do to enjoy it. Sometimes I got to find the joy in the middle of it. Joseph certainly did in prison. He did what he was supposed to do, got done in prison, but then became so comfortable there. Sometime later, he started telling dreams. Well, in between then, he woke up and said, I don't like this. I don't know, it's the 3rd day, the 3rd week, the 3rd month, or sometime later. But he started loving people well enough that they started opening up to tell dreams. We use the analogy, if you're in the Ukraine war, the early parts of that, in this group, we said that if a building gets blown up and we need to run over and save people, you and I'll just go start saving people. Well, I'm not going to go, do I have the gift to move concrete? Look at me, I really don't. But do I have the gifts to dig things? Do I have the gifts? No, we're just going to start doing it. And then eventually, Well, it's a 10-week project. And eventually James is good at going and getting others. We'll send him. And eventually I'll find out somebody else, Taylor's really good at talking to the people that are under duress. So she'll just keep talking to. And then we'll split the work up a little bit. But first we're just going to do what's right. And we will enjoy it, even if it's monotonous, in a way that there'll be joy for saving people. If it seems monotonous, but we're getting to something, we could dig. And eventually we'd start talking and enjoy each other.
That's good.
So we don't always get to get exactly what we do, but then what do you need from your job to live a better life? I'm asking, this is basically the same question another way. Some of you are evaluating jobs. What do you need? Fulfillment. Good. Opportunity for it. Growth opportunity. Good. Well, one thing that's true is that God has everybody right where He wants them today. God has everywhere. He might be moving you. You might see things where your gifts aren't being used, or this is not good work, or this is great work, but I'm stressed out about it, and I got to figure out how to lower it, maybe bring on a partner. But at the same time, God has you where He wants you right now, and He's calling you to go and love others and to be assured of His love first. It's not performance. I'm not earning it. To be assured of His love and then go and dispense it. And that's how you're confirmed that you're loved. John 15, 9-11 says almost exactly that. So if you look it up, you want to. So, John, let's keep going a little bit, but I think this gets to that. One thing we know is 120-year study. It's Harvard saying this. Harvard, who you'd think, let's just make money and conquer the world. If you've watched 4 Minutes of Suits, you just see that's all they do, right? Harvard lawyers. They just make money and go crazy. But they're saying a 120-year study is saying that there's almost zero correlation between pay and satisfaction. Money has not satisfied you. If you don't have enough and you're trying to feed people, or you're not paying the bills, it's an issue. So at a level, it's an issue, and it can be a negative in work, but we're going to talk about it in a minute. But it's not, the people who make more are not happier, and they don't do a better job. Okay, we've got the DA's office right now, so had to bring in all these people paying more, and there's a disparity of the original people that were there. There's an article about that. Anybody seen that? Like, well, everybody's in a roar about it, but those people aren't going to be happier. The people who know that the other people make more, we'll talk about that in a minute, are just happy because now you're saying new people are valued more than old people. That's a problem in digital analytics too, isn't it? Okay. However, although money doesn't satisfy, it still motivates. We make many, many decisions based on financial incentives, especially when it comes to our jobs. Even when people say that they would happily take a pay cut if they could work less, commute less, or have a more enjoyable job, they often don't actually make those choices and prefer to stick to the higher salary. So how do they know it and just say, I need less stress? Okay, so we're going to cover your issue all the way through, and then still stick in the problem, still stick in the muck, the thing that drives them crazy.
Because they're a slave to it.
They're a slave to it. Yeah. And some of you will get some freedom at a job, and then you'll take on some other work outside somewhere. So you're a slave to it. But why, you think? Why? What causes you to do that? We need to see the root cause of the idol, because usually it's not really nickels. It's what the nickels get you. We have a guy in NIL in here, group about we should bring a lineman on making $1.2 million. Is that going to destroy the whole locker room? And so they somehow agree to do it, give or take. And this isn't the exact story. It doesn't really matter because you know this person. We all know somebody. But then out in Colorado, Primetime offered him 1.4. And so the lineman took that and didn't go. But does that 18-year-old, whether he comes from wealth or not, I don't know. I don't even know his name. But it's the highest ever paid for a lineman, whether he knows, whether he came from wealth or came from poverty, does he really know the difference in 1.2 million and 1.4 million? No. Do any of us really? No. Even those who've had wealth do you really know the difference? Well, we know it's 18.7% more, right, Dan? We know that. But the market could down 18.7% tomorrow too, or over 6 weeks. So do we really know? No, he did that for status. He did that to be the lineman. Again, I don't really know him, but we know somebody like this. They do it so they know they make the most. I'm the validated as the highest paid 18-year-old lineman in the history of whatever. Yes, I'm on top of the world. It wasn't about money, really. It was about self-esteem. It's about status. We're going to break all that down in a minute. But here's what you really need. At some level, people are people. They want to have meaningful work. They want to have real connections with coworkers and their managers. They want what they're doing to have a broader purpose. They want to be fairly compensated. So on compensation, you do care if everybody in this industry is making 120 nickels. You think that's 120. You price yourself based on what other people charge, and you say, well, I'm doing about, even when I'm starting this business, I'm doing 80% as good as them. So I'll just start at 80%, and that's valuable. Entrepreneurs, y'all think that way? But now, wait a minute, now I'm high demand, and I'm doing a better job than those old-fashioned accountants, nothing specific here, and now I can charge the same because we're trying to build capacity in the business so we won't be so stressed out, so we can hire somebody else. So it is a value exchange. Compensation is a value exchange, and it does say something. It's the most fungible, countable way we can say, is it worth something? So, but it's more about value. Okay, is your job meeting your needs? Some of you speak to some of these things. These are 4 categories that you need. Everybody needs these things in some way. And so let's talk about let's not go to the negative. We'll have a chance for that. Let's not go to overplaying these. That is what idol worship is. Cannon's hitting it. It's taking a good thing and overdoing it. But what are some of how do you need your value confirmed? We just said compensation is a way of confirming value. That's a feedback loop. That's been the major theme of the week, is to know that I did a good job and it made a difference. However we count it in this business, it's different in every business, but I know I did a good job. And then the most important stat in the history of business is, will they make referrals? The net promoter score is what some fancy people call it. So that's important. What else? That's the way we work with teenagers. The more you show you know what you're doing, the more freedom you have. 10:30, 11. Who's got teenagers? Just me and Dan. So then you go a little further. You're proving yourself trustworthy. Go a little further. It's showing you're valuable. I can handle this stuff. At work, how much more? Oh, now you got a team. How many employees do you have now? 5. That creates even more autonomy because I can take the work between the 6 of them and divvy it up. That's autonomy. I get to do more. That's a way of being valued. What other ways?
Seeing the impact of what you get done has on the community.
When I see it happen, I see the difference. Oh, that client's now flourishing. That little retail place, I thought it was a stretch. Oh, now it's good. That business is doing better than I thought it would do. I'm glad. Oh, and the way we set that up, the way we gave them that bay versus this bay really made a difference. Okay. How about who needs opportunity for growth and they know it? How does that play out? Yeah. If I stay here at this firm, it's such a large firm, and I do well, can I go a little further? Can I go a little further? I'm not really a job hopper. I'm not really going to try to make this out of the whole city. I'm going to try to see, can I add value at this place? That might be why I choose. There's a path forward at this place. That's healthy. If you work out, to have your body stay healthy, I know you do, then you also, your mind, you want to stay healthy. Of course, James tells us something about that even better, but physical training is of some value, mental training is of some value, but spiritual training all the more. That's where it all comes together. How much more it's spiritual training? So it all comes together. Yes, we're made to grow. Jesus, perfect, grew in wisdom and stature and favor with God and man. I don't know exactly how that worked. But he was totally dependent and nursed. And then he worked and made things. And he grew in wisdom. He grew in experience. He grew in understanding. He grew in how to make a table. He grew, and then people, oh, wait a minute, he's got something. He's got a piece about him. Even working with him as a 25-year-old must have been unbelievable. He grew in it without sin. And then people started to recognize his body grew. We're made to grow. And that parable, and the other parable we love so much, take 10 cities. You've done so well. You'll have 10 cities. So I think the growth, I don't think our minds and abilities are going to be diminished in heaven. I think we're going to be able to keep growing. It's never ending, or it'd drive us crazy if it was all the same. It's going to keep growing. It's going to keep growing. It's going to expand beyond maybe just our understanding of God's love, but that will be enough. We'll grow an understanding of God's love. Whatever it is, whether they're going to manage cities or just understand the worship of the Father, unbelievable. Who needs community at work? Who needs it?
Everybody. Yeah.
Everybody, good answer.
Or maybe
Introverts and extroverts?
maybe not 100% of the time, but
I don't always need that. I need to sometimes just stay at home, get some work done. Right? The pandemic has shown us, we've learned good lessons about that, and we've learned that we need to be around people. Who really needs it though? This is their number one thing, really. Need to be with people. A galvanizing enabler. Is nobody galvanized at home? My wife's busy. I need to get in the office and galvanize somebody. I need to see and I can't do it if I don't see what they need. I'm an enabler. I need to see what they need to be able to do it. I can't do it by myself. Who else just really appreciates the community? Yeah, this one lady has a lot, but she doesn't understand it. Well, how do you think we can show her that she's going to be okay?
yeah, I mean,
Because even in that, it didn't have any difference in it. So, yes, I meant?
Yeah, however, the Beatles were better together than alone.
Yeah, sure. We need each other.
They absolutely needed each other.
Yeah. Even introverts, we need each other. Okay? And we know we get that joy, and verbal processors all the more.
Yeah.
People like me and Walker were verbal processors, so we got to keep going. Okay, we can drive an internal processor crazy, but we got to find another verbal processor, another way to say everything you're saying. Who needs benefits from their job? Who needs to get something back? What do you need? The benefits, let's think now compensation and things like that. When you think about what the company, it's contractually, whether it's a verbal contract or you have a little employee agreement, what do you need back in there? Insurance. For what might come. Right? It's part of get some money, but if something big were to happen, we want to be covered. Good. And groups, see, even that, go back to that community for a minute. Groups, insurance really wouldn't exist if groups didn't learn to cover each other. And then somebody created a financial instrument, which is a unique creation that helped people do that. But Acts 2:42 to 47, they did it as a group, just in a pot. But in a way that's a sophisticated pot. It's awesome. Yeah, that's a throwback way to say it, but it's still true for the youngest people today, especially millennials and Gen Z. We're all so different. Some people need to be in a structure that helps them move forward. What's this thing going to look like tomorrow? That's good. Any other benefits you know are hot? Come on. The last time you looked at a job offer, what did you want to make sure was in it?
Like
I'm just smacked and beat up. I'm going to get these two things where these people are really stressed out about done, and I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to take the rest of this day off in the park. Can't do that every day. But to be able to do that's awesome. You need rest. That's what James was. You need rest from your work. Nobody ever negotiated for a vacation or more? You need rest. You need time off. So all of these things map to this. John, I think we'll get close to answering the question, right? So most of the things we say about money really are about something else. The lineman we said was really going for status. We don't really know him. We don't really put that on him. Don't look it up. We're just saying we know enough of people. The reason they want to make more is because they make more than their friends, or they make more than their industry, or they want to be the top at something. That's called status. The things you shared a minute ago, value and creating and growth, where does it really fit in? This is different for everybody. So everybody look at it just for a second. I'll explain it. And pick the two that are most important to you. Let's have about 5 people say that. Some people really do focus on resources. And just how to read this thing. Safety is the middle. Protection from harm. I need enough to feed my family. And then self-esteem. And most of these, the rest of these really come out of self-esteem if you're not in dire straits. If somebody's not pointing a gun at you. If you don't live in Ukraine or Gaza, right now, or a place where there's a food desert, or you don't have enough nickels to even feed your family, but then everything can really come out of self-esteem and worth. Am I worth something? So status is social rank, prestige, esteem in the eyes of others. And think, right now you're just thinking about the good side of this, okay? Autonomy, control over one's choices, tell that's the way you were describing it. And morality, I need to know, some people need to know that they're doing the right thing. And everything will flow from that. Achievement, I need to know I'm achieving something. This probably is mine. I need to know that we're building towards something. I need to see transformation in people's lives. An affiliation, I need to know I'm part of something. Yes, some of us will be able to discern what we are at the root of this, and we did this for others in our lives last week, okay? So it's the same thing. They say they want new space, they're really trying to grow a business, but while they're trying to grow the business, bam, 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 they're an achiever. You'd get there. The same for yourself. So the need behind the need behind the need, keep unpeeling the onion so you understand the person so you can help them, but then you got to be able to know yourself too. Why do I do these things that I do? Who knows it's affiliation? I need to be part of a cool company doing the good thing with great people. It's cool work. Be with somebody. All right, how can we have too much of any of these? So some of you were thinking the negative sides of these the whole time, even as you saw these. These are positive things for the most part. But you see the negative. But how on the one that you need could you go too far? Don't hit on the others, the stuff you say you don't need as much, but how could you go too far? That's my source of value. I'm in real trouble. That's my main source. So it's okay that I get value. Jesus knew he was doing a good job, I promise you. He knew he was valuable, I promise you. He knew he was so valuable he was able to be humble about everything. The most valuable, the most humble person that ever lived. So we could go too far and get it all. What else? Could we go too far in community? Yeah, I get on my job there. Or I just don't come home to my wife. That'd be a problem too. Yeah. Older folks, who's done that? Okay, all done that. So, really important. So I can go too far. I can get too, and then I'm not taking care of the things. I'm not growing in the other ways God would have me grow. And you think vow order, am I growing? And is this job helping me grow in Christ? Is it helping me know God? Is this job helping me bless the people that I've committed to bless? If I'm married, my spouse. If I have kids, kids. If I have friends, friends. If I have neighbors, neighbors. If I'm part of a church community. All these, am I growing in all these areas? Cannon's premise for starting to come, it basically said, a mature person who's growing spiritually also needs to be growing in their work. But, so those things go together, and I can then see that and go back. Can I have too many benefits? Do not put your trust in princes, in human beings who cannot save. Okay, what's God saying right here? You do need the positive elements of those things. But when I become addicted to those things, and then whose best client has made him mad? Who's gotten in a fight with their partner? Who has somebody that's been in their life a long time who hasn't let them down in some way? Okay, so we can't think this new thing is going to be all this way. It's all things going to be awesome, because every one of us, if we can't trust in princes who think, oh, this guy's going to make everything better, and we can't put that on somebody either. Okay, or we get messed up. We can't want to get all our value from there. Value confirm is good. I did a good job. I got good metrics. I got a good feedback loop. But I still don't need everything from him. See what great love the Father has lavished on us, that we should be called children of God. And that is what we are. The reason the world does not know us is that it did not know him. Who's pretty fired up they're a child of God? Absolutely. What does that mean for you? Benefits.
You're never going to be a father. That's kind of reassuring that lay down the burden, right?
This whole thing doesn't depend on me. It depends on my Father and the one who brought me to and who paid everything to bring me to it, the Father. I'm a child. I'm a prince. I have the same status as Jesus with the Father. He sees me perfect. I'll never be more valued. No matter what I do today, no matter how good the feedback loop is, I'll never be more valued than I am right now by the one who matters the most, because the weight of the value outweighs all the other value. And does the world know this? I actually left this second part of this verse on here on accident. And the reason the world does not know us is it did not know him. When you're feeling unvalued, realize you're the prince. You're the princess. You're the one to display value. You're the one who has a feedback loop. And God does show you. You get joy and satisfaction when you do the things you're made to do. He's given it to you. So don't be surprised that people don't get you. We are therefore Christ's ambassadors, as though God were making His appeal through us. You're valued perfectly. You're mine. Now go. Now go spread that light. That's how you're going to know. That's the most valuable thing you can be, is go share that light. And I'm not talking about throwing verses all over Chick-fil-A. I am saying go and love somebody in an uncommon way that they even ask why. Why do you care for me this way? Why do you have hope in this downtime? Why do you have hope in this upside? Why are you not so excited, but you seem to have a peace about you in up and down? Go be His ambassadors. Go do if someone you would want somebody to do for you, do for them. Be His ambassador. Because that's what Jesus did for you, what He had. He had perfect relationship with the Father. He made you have perfect relationship with the Father. That's what we can go do. And Jesus grew in wisdom and stature and in favor with God and man. Just because I only have 2 minutes, I'm not going to cover the community verse. But just go read Acts 2:42-47. Can't mention the church. But work communities can have so much in common that they care for each other. And when we are the church, our little C's can do that at our individual locations and can do this really well in community groups and parish groups and small Bible studies and get really tight. And we can go be the big C and do this all the time. That's one thing that's good about a parish strategy, is to go out and do it for more and get them to join the number, get them to see. Have everything in common, so much in common they start selling. They don't care about their needs anymore. They start selling everything. Seems like Michael doesn't quite have what I have. I want you to have this. That's the original insurance. It's right there, all together. Do not store up for yourselves treasures on earth where moss and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal. But store up for yourselves treasures in heaven, where moss and vermin do not destroy, and where thieves do not break in and steal. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. Your heart. David says, search my heart and know me, God, so that I know myself, basically. Your heart knows why you're doing something. You know. You can unpeel it. Oh, I need some autonomy. I do. I'm healthier when I have autonomy. Some of that's to a good level. I need community. I need validation. I need growth. I need to keep growing. Some of that's very good. But I know why I'm doing it. I know if I'm doing it to impress man or for some insecurity that I have, or I know if I'm doing it because it's the way I'm made to be validated. Your heart, you can keep digging in. God's truth is written on your heart, and you can dig in. And He's saying, store up there. Do it my way, store up there. Read this. But thanks be to God. He gives us victory through our Lord Jesus Christ. Therefore, my dear brothers and sisters, stand firm. Let nothing move you. Always give yourself fully to the work of the Lord, because you know that your labor in the Lord is not in vain. Okay? We say, quit coming at this if these things don't help you define reality and offer hope. What's the reality of this? Victory's done, accomplished, it's completed. Therefore, what? Stand firm. Keep doing it the way He showed us. Keep going. I'm not feeling valued today, but I know that guy needs something. I'm going to keep going. And your working genius can help you see like the way you can do it to give you energy back to yourself. If that's what you're down on. It's not the only way. But part of it is just doing the right thing and being validated you're doing the right thing. Stand firm. Keep doing it. Keep going. Don't give up. And where's the hope? What's the hope? The hope is victory. What's the other hope? Another reality. Give yourself fully. James, is there a way to give myself fully to the work and not be stressed out? Especially when it's for Him. When I'm not working for human masters, but I'm working for Him, I'm not going to do it in a way that takes away from my other vows. I'm going to do it in a way not the way that costs other people in my life. I'm going to stand firm. I'm going to fully devote the work in all parts of my life, and I know it's not in vain. Because it's accomplished, it's finished, it's done. Lord, you are so good to us. The hope, the victory assured, you start there. For us, we know the whole story. We know it's finished. We know the work is done, and yet you call us in to do the very same work you were doing. Gives us meaning and purpose and growth and value and community, and gives us benefits. Some we need. We do have to negotiate our value and things every now and then to align things correctly so we can do better work. That's okay. But then we can test our hearts and know the motives. You give us that, and you send us out with all the hope that we're in you. So do that for us today, Jesus. Help us to see people as you see them. In your name, amen.